Welcome to week 3 of the Iowa Conference Series here on YouTube. And after 2 weeks with just 3 teams in action, for the first time this year, we have all 4 user teams in action here today. We're going to have some fantastic matchups. Before we get to those, do want to give some recognition to Waverly-Shell Rock's Manny Hammer. Their defensive end is the National Defensive Player of the Week after putting up 6 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble in last week's win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And I do want to take a look at last week's results. First, in user games, Cedar Falls was at home and they took down Air Force 21-0. Waverly-Shell Rock gets past Cedar Rapids Kennedy at home 40-35. And in their home opener, Bosco has their way with Kennesaw State, final there 42-14. In other conference matchups, Gladbrook-Rhinebeck got an FCS win 56-10. Central City with a hard-fought win over Memphis 19-14. It is a tough win for City High as they beat Tulane 38-35. Waterloo West with a very nice victory as they beat Ole Miss at home 31-28. In a conference battle, Iowa City West is too much for Grundy Center 34-13. Waterloo East is a pretty embarrassing loss there, to be honest with you, for the Trojans as they fall to an FCS team at home 35-24. And a hard-fought battle there in Iowa County as Cedar Rapids Prairie gets the road win at Williamsburg, 31-29. And now here's a look at this week's matchups in the conference. First, the 4 user games. Waverly-Shell Rock goes on the road for conference play. They'll be at Spartan Stadium taking on Grundy Center. Cedar Falls back at home as it's not a very far trip for Waterloo East as they will host the Trojans in a Black Hawk County battle. Bosco will head south for their first conference game of the season. They head down to Kingston Stadium to take on Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And Starmont makes the road trip. They are back in action after 2 weeks off. The Stars open conference play at Waterloo West. In other action from conference teams, Central City is on the road for non-conference play at Texas A&M. Waterloo Columbus gets a good challenge as they host Boise State. Williamsburg will go to Big Ten country as they take on Indiana. Gladbrook-Rhinebeck also taking on a Big Ten foe in Maryland. And Iowa City West with quite the challenge. They will hit the road to take on third-ranked and the reigning national runner-up, the Georgia Bulldogs. So we've got 4 great user games on the schedule for you this week. And let's start this one in Grundy County as number 16-ranked Waverly-Shell Rock looks to stay unbeaten and get the second conference victory as they will take on the Grundy Center Spartans. We're here at Spartan Stadium as Waverly-Shell Rock takes on Grundy Center. The Spartans trying to get something going here early on, but Brock Cassidy gets back there for the sack for the Go-Hawks. Waverly-Shell Rock undefeated on the year, trying to stay that way. But here the Spartans break off a long touchdown run as Grundy Center strikes first here in Grundy County. They lead 7-0 over Waverly-Shell Rock. Go-Hawks trying to get back on the board, and here Hermanson, a pop pass to Lucas O'Doyle, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown for the junior out of Maryland as Waverly-Shell Rock ties the game at 7. Nice look there for the Go-Hawks. Every player wearing the old school helmets here today and the rest of the year, as far as I'm aware, is Grundy Center trying to get the scoring going again, and they do. It's a touchdown for the Spartans as they are a dangerous team. Of course, they got the upset over Cedar Falls last year, trying to get the better of Waverly-Shell Rock here in an upset win. But the Go-Hawks trying to get something going, and that's going to be a touchdown. Jack Borders, the junior out of New Mexico, gets into the end zone, and the Go-Hawks are tied again at 14. Closing in on halftime here. The Spartans go to the end zone, and that's another touchdown. Waverly-Shell Rock struggling to keep Grundy Center out of the end zone here today as Grundy Center has come to play. They lead 21-14. But the Go-Hawks go to their trusty fullback. It's that freshman again, Hugh Krause, as he dives into the end zone. It's 21 all, but with 3 seconds left until the break, the Spartans are going to try a field goal. Kick is up, and it is perfect down the middle as we are 24-21. Grundy Center takes the lead, I should say. And they take the lead into the locker rooms. But here comes Krause again. Great blocking, great execution on that one. And the freshman has 6. Touchdown, Go-Hawks. A huge run from Hugh Krause. He's been such a phenomenal player for the Go-Hawks this year as they lead 28-24. And the Spartans trying to make something happen here. A deep shot down the field. He's gone. There is a flag, though. He is gone, but we'll see if it counts. Touchdown, Spartans for the moment, and it's a penalty on Waverly-Shell Rock, roughing the passer. So Grundy Center retakes the lead, 31-28. Less than 30 seconds left until the end of the third quarter. Go Hawks, go to the end zone, but it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Grundy Center, and they now have the lead and the football. And now they'll try a field goal to make it a 6-point game. Kick is up. It is good. Grundy Center leads by 6, but the Go Hawks are still a touchdown, an extra point away from taking the lead. But it's Grundy Center football. But a big hit there knocks the ball loose, and the loose ball is picked up by the Go Hawks. It's being returned by Waverly-Shell Rock. Nick Goings is going to the end zone. Touchdown, Go Hawks. Touchdown, Waverly-Shell Rock. What a huge swing and momentum. And they hit the extra point to take the lead, but with 40 seconds and counting to play, Grundy Center has first and goal. Trying to win the game. It's caught for a touchdown. Touchdown Spartans. They're going to go for 2 to try to make it a 7-point game with just a matter of seconds remaining. 38 seconds to play, and this would make it a 7-point advantage if they can get it. Pass is caught. Tight end gets into the end zone. 2-point is good. And the Go Hawks are now down 7. 15 seconds and counting. Go Hawks have their timeouts, but they're running out of time. But Doyle gets the edge. He's got a foot race, and he's going to go all the way. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Go Hawks. Lucas O'Doyle gets to the end zone, and with an extra point, we'll be going to overtime, and that's exactly where we are. And here in overtime, the Go Hawks down 3, and now they're going to have to try a field goal to extend overtime. This kick would force double overtime after Grundy Center scored 3. Kick is up. It is good. And we are not done yet. We're heading to double overtime here at Spartan Stadium. What a game we've had, and it's not over yet. Pop pass here. Hermanson gets it to Juan Vaughns. He's inside the 5, and he's going to be down at the 1-yard line. The Go Hawks threatening to take the lead here. They're going to go in the T formation. They're going to go back to the fullback, and Kraus is going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Go Hawks, as Kraus scores for the 3rd time the day. Now they're going to go for 2 as they're required to do so with the overtime rules, and that's going to be a conversion. Jack Borders gets into the end zone, and now Grundy Center needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to force triple overtime, and that is going to seal the deal. An interception for Waverly-Shell Rock. Noah Rustin with the pick. He's tackled, and that's the ball game. What an incredible matchup here in Grundy Center. As Waverly-Shell Rock gets the double overtime road victory, 53-45. The Go Hawks stay unbeaten. What an incredible matchup here today. It's going to be hard to top that one here in this video, but we'll certainly try. Cedar Falls at home as Waterloo East makes the quick trip over to Tiger Stadium, and the Tigers will strike first as Adam Madison gets into the end zone. He's been a threat scrambling the football this year, and he does so again there as that's a touchdown for the Tigers. Waterloo East trying to respond here early second quarter, though. It's a run to the outside. Good move, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Trojans. Waterloo East goes into the end zone in this Metro Blackhawk County battle. We are tied at 7 here as the Tigers will try to take a 3-point edge here on 4th and 13. Kick is up, and it is perfect right down the middle. The Tigers take a 10-7 lead over Waterloo East. But Waterloo East trying to tie the game here on 4th down. That kick is up, and it is good. That one sneaks into the upright, and we are tied at 10 here, less than 2 minutes to go until halftime. Good battle here so far. The Tigers quickly drive down the field. That pass is caught, and that's going to be a touchdown for Christopher Greenwell Jr. as the junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma gets into the end zone. And Cedar Falls extends that lead 17-10. Waterloo East trying to tie things up before the break. Deep shot, but that's a mistake, as that is going to be intercepted by the Tigers. Picked off by Dalton Darasaw, and the Florida native gets pushed out of bounds as Cedar Falls takes control here. They have a chance to extend their lead before half. They cannot, but they do have the ball here. That's going to be caught, and Jay Kumar, the trusty tight end, the big 225-pounder out of Alabama, gets into the end zone, and the Tigers double their lead, now up 14, 24-10. They'll go in the I formation here, and that's going to be another touchdown as Mac Bannister, the running back / fullback, gets into the end zone. And Cedar Falls really extending their lead now. A good fight by Waterloo East, but now they are in deep, deep trouble. Down 31-10, but they're still fighting, and there's a beautiful play, a deep pass that's going to go all the way. That is a 84-yard touchdown connection for Waterloo East. So they are down, but they're not out. They're not going to stop the fight quite yet. But they still trail 31-17, and Cedar Falls trying to extend that lead. Joey Kenton on to attempt the field goal, and that kick is good. 34-17, Cedar Falls extends their lead further. Tigers looking good here today for the most part. as that's going to be big trouble, and that's going to be a safety. Taken down in the end zone by a pair of Tigers, as that's a big play right there. Bryson Conrad in on that play. Cedar Falls with a 36-17 edge here. 3 minutes to play in the game. East in big trouble. Going end zone, and that one is floated up for grabs, and that's a big mistake as it's intercepted by Braxton Hall. And Cedar Falls having their way with Waterloo East now as they go for a 36-17 win. A tight first half turned into a bit of a blowout. Cedar Falls remains undefeated, and now we're over to Lynn County as Don Bosco, my Don Bosco, Dons hit the road to take on Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And here comes Jerron Sunday on the first play from scrimmage. That's a nice pickup into Cougar territory. Pickup of 23 yards there on the first play of the game. As Don Bosco looking to strike first here, 1st and 10. Fitzgerald's going to get out of the pocket, goes to the end zone. It's caught. C.J. Major III gets into the end zone. And Don Bosco strikes first here at Kingston Stadium. They lead 7-0 over Kennedy. But the Cougars trying to respond. 3rd down and 8. Looking down the field, and he's got a receiver wide open as it looks like David Batista got completely burned on that play. That's going to be a touchdown for Kennedy as they tie the game at 7. Explosive play for the Cougars. But here comes Jerron Sunday on the run outside. Good block there by Gaskins. Hilton doing a nice job blocking too. And if you give Jerron Sunday good blocking, you're in for a long day, as that's going to be a big pickup down to the 23-yard line. Here comes Sunday again. Good blocking again, and he's going to go all the way. 23 yards to the house. Jerron Sunday dives across the goal line, as that's going to be a 14-7 advantage for Don Bosco as they respond quickly. But Kennedy trying to respond themselves. Handoff is going to go into the end zone, and the Don Bosco defense having a poor showing so far as Kennedy's going to tie the game at 14. And we've got a back-and-forth affair going right now here in Cedar Rapids. Fitzgerald goes to the end zone for Major, but it's intercepted. A pick right at the 1-yard line, as that's an unfortunate situation there as Fitzgerald is intercepted as the Dons looked like they were driving. It's a 99-yard field in front of the Cougars, but that's going to be caught, and that's massive trouble. It's a foot race to the 50. Can anybody catch him to the 30, 20? Nobody's going to get him. It is a 99-yard touchdown strike for Kennedy. And just like that, Don Bosco in huge trouble as they give up the 99-yard score, going for the extra point here to make it 21-14. But that is blocked by David Batista. The ball's loose, and it's picked up by Evan McCormick. Now he has a chance to run the length of the field. He's across the 50. He could go all the way. 25, 15, 10, 5. Evan McCormick Jr. goes all the way for a 2-point conversion in the blocks extra point. And instead of 21-14, it's 20-16. And now Don Bosco has the lead. They lead 23-20 after a big connection from Fitzgerald to Michael Hilton on the touchdown pass. And what a switch of momentum that was. That big blocked extra point turned 2-point conversion. Now Don Bosco with the lead, and look out. There's the big defensive tackle, Carson Patterson, getting back there for the sack. Ball back to the Dons now as Fitzgerald looking to make a play. He takes a deep shot down the field. Hilton, one-on-one, makes the grab. Nobody's going to catch him. He is tackled across the goal line for a touchdown. What a huge play there for Don Bosco. I believe that was a 77-yard touchdown connection. Second half now, and Kennedy trying to get back on the board. The field goal is up and good, so it is a one-possession game once again, 30-23. But Don Bosco still with a 7-point advantage, and they're looking to extend that further. Fitzgerald gets out of the pocket, looking end zone. He's got a man, and it's Major again. C.J. Major III with his second touchdown grab of the day as Don Bosco extends their lead over Kennedy, now up 37-23. Kennedy trying to make a play here in the third quarter. Quarterback going to the end zone, but it's picked off. Kylan Waters picks it off in the end zone, and he's going to take it out. Gets around one man, and now he's got a foot race to the end zone. He's going to go across the 50, to the 40, to the 30, and he's finally dragged down, nearly went all the way, but it's still a huge return for Kylan Waters. What a play for him, his first pick of the year. And Don Bosco in great field position now. Fitzgerald going to the end zone for Major. It's a three-peat for C.J. Major III, his third touchdown grab of the day. How about that for the senior receiver out of Slinger, Wisconsin? He's had a phenomenal day here today. And now Kennedy in big trouble, trying to make a play, but look out, that's Evan McCormick. He scored the 2-point conversion earlier, and now he gets back there for a big-time sack. Kennedy takes a big loss. It's 3rd and long here for the Cougars, 3rd and 13. Deep shot down the field, and that's intercepted. Exodus Ayers in his third game as a Don with his fourth pick. He's been an incredible pickup for Don Bosco out of the transfer portal so far as he gets the pick. And Don Bosco gets the football back. Here they're going to go to Anwar Johnson, and the blocking is there. He's at the 5. He's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Dons. Anwar Johnson, the backup running back, scores his first touchdown of the day. He's been a really nice backup to Jerron Sunday this season as he goes all the way, and it's getting a bit of a laugher here in Cedar Rapids as the Don Bosco Dons lead 51-23. And how about a second interception for Exodus Ayers? His 5th pick in 3 games with the Dons. Just simply incredible, the production he's given Don Bosco right out of the gate as they lead 51-23. And it's a pop pass. Johnson to Sam Hart, and he's going to score a touchdown. Sam Hart, the redshirt freshman out of Staten Island, New York, scores his first career touchdown on a reception from Anwar Johnson. Congratulations to Hart. What an accomplishment for him. And now Dylan Sexton, the backup quarterback, into the game. He goes to the end zone, and that's a touchdown to Lane Gilmore. Dylan Sexton, a sophomore out of Virginia. I believe that is his first career touchdown pass as Gilmore. No rookie to getting touchdown receptions, that's for sure. As Don Bosco with a blowout win, 65-23, 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns. The Dons remain undefeated, and they are rolling heading into a matchup against Starmont next week. And speaking of the Stars, they are at Memorial Stadium. And here comes Javius Bond with a big pickup all the way down to the 33. A pickup of 30 there for Bond. Starmont taking on the Waterloo West Wahawks here today. And that is going to be a touchdown. Deion Snelling on the reception from Elijah Fitzgerald as the Stars strike first here in Waterloo. They lead 7-0 over the Wahawks. Now we're tied at 7. As the Stars going to try to tie the game. Fitzgerald gets out of the pocket, deep shot, and that is going to be caught by DeMarcus Gaskins all the way down to the 12. Big pickup there for the Stars. 2nd and inches now, and Bond is going to go into that maroon end zone. Touchdown for Starmont. Javius Bond, the senior out of Macon, Georgia. He gets across the goal line for the score. 2nd quarter now, and they're going to that orange end zone on the other end of the field, and the pitch from Fitzgerald to Johnson goes for a touchdown as Anwar Johnson scores his first touchdown of the day, and Starmont extends their lead now 21-7, and they're trying to extend it further. Same play here, and it's going to be the same result. A pitch back to Johnson, and that's a touchdown. Anwar Johnson scores back-to-back touchdowns as Starmont is dominating here, up 28-10 now after a field goal by West. And there goes Bond, a nice little hurdle over a defender. Gets to the 45 and the 44 before he's finally taken down here in the second half. Fitzgerald looking end zone. He's got C.J. Major, who has a couple steps on his defender, and that's going to be caught for a touchdown. C.J. Major III on the touchdown grab as Starmont is all over Waterloo West here today, up 35-10 late third quarter. Fitzgerald going back to Major in the end zone, and that's caught. Touchdown, Starmont. The former national champions last year reached the quarterfinals of the playoffs, have only lost 2 games in the last 4 years, and you're seeing why right now, as that's Javius Bond in for a touchdown. Mike Levine, the freshman out of Prentice, Mississippi, is into the game at quarterback for the Stars. He sends a man in motion. It's a pop pass to the receiver, Trent Boatwright, and the redshirt freshman is going to dance his way into the end zone. He had all sorts of time there, as that's a touchdown for Starmont. Believe the first career touchdown pass for that talented freshman, Mike Levine. And now Bond is going to go back to the end zone here in the closing moments of the game, and that's another touchdown for Starmont. Starmont all over Waterloo West today, simply too much for the Wahawks, as they are going to extend their lead further and win that one in a dominant fashion. And here is a look at the standings after Week 3's games. Waverly-Shell Rock, the only team that has played twice in conference. They are 2-0, 3-0 overall. Don Bosco and Cedar Falls are both 3-0 overall, but 1-0 in conference play, while Starmont is also undefeated at 1-0 in the conference. They are 2-0 overall. So nobody has lost a game yet this season, but that's going to change next week because Don Bosco will host Starmont in what should be a top-tier matchup. 2 of the very best teams in the entire nation meet up next week in Gilbertville. Cedar Falls and Waverly-Shell Rock will also be in action, so be sure to tune in next time for that great matchup. We'll have it for you right here in the Iowa Conference Series on YouTube. Until then, we'll see you next time.